Alright, I'm back. Let's see. Let's pop back into the Discord and see what these guys are doing. Hey guys, I'm back.
You know what
I'm back.
You know what I realized when you told us that Kshama knew that it wasn't. There had to be a ritual behind it.
What?
Vaira actually had figured that out at some point during one of the last sessions, and I forgot because it wasn't. I never wrote it down in my quickly read this notes. It's just in my normal notes. Whoops.
Oh well, it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vaira was learning all about the bracers. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have whispered you too and told you that it wouldn't do anything.
We can pretend that Vaira did it anyways because it still had Havoc's skin on it, and she thought maybe it would work.
Yeah, fair.
I'll just say that because since she's a sorcerer instead of a wizard now, she doesn't have as good of an intelligence to put 2 and 2 together.
Okay. All right.
It's still 12 though, which is higher than normal or average, but
yeah. Cool. Well, so the whole taking Havoc's token off at the beginning was really just going to be a way to troll Wolf. I was hoping he would show up and see that his token's not there. And, you know, the joke was really on me because he didn't show up.
You never show up.
All right. So, so you guys are approaching this inn. The town's pretty desolate. I know I've described it as much already. Much of the borders of the town or houses or any if there are some kind of livestock, any pens or anything like that, would be separated by sticks placed in the sand, basically as fencing. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a beach where people do that, but it's a thing that happens where people will just jab sticks into the sand really close together, and that's basically like a small barrier. It doesn't help a whole lot, but it's a thing, and it kind of looks cool. So there is some of that going on as you approach the inn. It's somewhat large, as if to accommodate many people, maybe sometimes. But you can kind of sense that maybe it's not all in use. Maybe there's chimneys that aren't smoking, in addition to the one chimney that is smoking. Also, there's no sign on the place. There's a place where a sign should be, but the iron holdings that would fix it to the post have long since rusted from being blasted repeatedly with sand. And the sign has long since fallen off and perhaps been carried off somewhere. Or burned, maybe with a firebolt by an angry turtle. But yeah, that's sort of the scene as we fade into you guys approaching this inn. Some of you are more beaten and battered than others. Some of you are dead and being carried on a person's shoulder. What do you guys want to do? Was that a good introduction? I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm in the zone today. I don't know what's up.
So does it look like there's people there, or?
Yeah. It's not crowded by any means. I mean, you haven't gotten inside yet. You're still walking up to the place. But there's not horses lined up outside. There's not the whole place isn't lit up. There is some light coming from inside. There is a chimney smoking. I think maybe there's other chimneys that aren't smoking. It doesn't seem busy. You don't hear the chatter of people, raucous laughter, or celebrations or anything, songs, anything like that. Maybe you hear the occasional creak of a floorboard as someone shuffles across a room briefly, but there's no conversation or anything. It seems, if it's an inn, it's certainly open. It's just dead. There's nobody here. They're not busy. Town, since you guys have gotten into town, it's been, like I said, it's a pit stop town. And right now, maybe it's just not the peak of the season.
Joel's waiting outside for the rest of them to catch up.
Yeah, you probably would have gotten there a bit sooner than the rest.
And then he's probably gonna be like, "So who won?"
I'm still alive. I win. He gave up.
Is that how you measure winning? Because if that's the case, then we're all winning.
Kshama looks over. And he looks at Vaira. And he looks at Ambien. And then he kind of shuffles Havoc to a different spot in his back. I've already killed one of you. I'm not afraid to kill more. And then he keeps walking.
I think it's at that point that the 10 minutes has passed. Maybe it's taken about 10 minutes to walk up to the place.
Hmm.
Yeah, are there people around right now in the town?
I mean, no, but there's definitely people right on the other side of this door. You don't know how many. Doesn't sound like many. You don't
How
hear
far
quite-
away would Vaira be from me? Would she be within like 30 feet or so?
She would keep away from you.
Well, if we're all approaching the door and talking, I feel like I would be within decently close range. I don't know if I would be though.
True. Are we coming up to coming up to the inn, or are we just coming up to the town, like where the first building is?
So I imagine that you guys sort of stopped maybe 20, 30 feet from the inn, and Kshama said his thing, his comment.
Oh, I would have been waiting for them in front of the inn, like, at the door.
Oh, like right at the door? Okay,
Yeah, then
Souls.
he wouldn't attack Vaira if we're that close.
Okay.
If we're that close to the end.
Alright. So you guys gonna walk in?
I guess I'll walk in.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody?
I make no attempt to conceal Havoc's body.
Is anybody disguising themselves or anything?
I think
Yeah,
Souls
I still have-
alter self.
Mm-hmm. That'll last
Okay.
for an hour,
Yeah.
so I guess 50 more minutes.
Alright.
Ambien has his disguise out too.
Okay.
Vaira's gonna drop concentration on her aberration. Actually, no,
I think
she's
it's
not.
gone now.
It's a small enough town that she actually
But-
doesn't care if people notice.
But it's gone now because it's 10 minutes, right?
No, the aberration
No, the
lasted an
aberration
hour.
can be up to
It's an hour.
10 hours.
Oh, okay.
But I think she would decide that it's a small enough town that she doesn't care if somebody recognizes her.
Alright. So you looking like you from the bounty.
Yeah, and she still has her aberration up.
Alright. So Ambien and Soul are disguised. Ambien, you have a disguise kit used. Do you have to roll for that?
Yeah, in case like I need to do a deception check or me.
Yeah, like just how good the disguise is. I know you're
Yeah.
you're sort of a master of disguise, but I'm just kind of curious as to how good it is.
I could roll for it right now.
Soul's also wearing one of Ambien's wigs, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Wait, didn't you do alter self?
I did, but I also got one of his wigs from healing him before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also using that on top of that.
All right, so you're missing a wig. That doesn't
No,
give you
yeah,
it doesn't It doesn't give you disadvantage or anything. Don't worry. It's just I'm just pointing it out. But you're good, Soul, because you used magic to just alter yourself anyway. So,
Mhm.
what about Kitty?
No, he's not. He's not disguised.
Would Kitty have been mentioned in the bounty? I feel like if you both got locked up together, there probably would be a bounty for you as well as the cat.
That's fine. He's not disguised.
I kind of like
Is he worth 500?
I kind of like to think the cat might have been worth more,
Oh,
just as a joke.
hmm
Like maybe Crudiat wanted to collect the cat and turn it into a pet or something.
People expect the cat to get out of the bag, but they don't expect the bag to be the cat.
Yeah. Or maybe you're known to carry valuables in it, so it's worth more because of that.
That works. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? I might like drape the tent because I remember I took the tent, and I'll drape it over him, just sort of like a small cover.
Okay.
The cat in a cloak
Yeah.
All right.
or a walking tent.
So, Ambien, how do we do this to figure out how good the disguise is? Proficiency with this
Wouldn't it
kit.
just be like a?
yeah, I'm proficient with it.
So you get a proficiency bonus to any rolls. Looks like you can make different rolls here depending on what you want to do. It sounds like you were wanting to focus on deception, right? Or as part of a long rest, you can create a disguise. I would imagine
You
you
know
would
what?
always have at least one disguise ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what Ambien and Soul should do is, if you guys haven't decided exactly what you look like yet, make yourselves look like bounty hunters or an
Magistrate.
officer or something. Yeah.
While they're
To-
trying to figure it out, I open the door and walk in.
All right. So you
Alright,
you
I
go
slam
and
the
they
walk
door's
in.
hinges on its
They,
hinges.
they did
I've already
this
been in
back when
disguise
they
for a
got
while.
close. Yeah.
Or I mean well Ambien's making his disguise at least.
I think Ambien also did his disguise back when we cast Alter Self on ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Ambien
did he?
doesn't need to create a disguise. His character is sort of like a stage performer kind of guy. It makes sense that he would just have a disguise. But yeah, I just need a roll to figure out how good it is. So, deception, intimidation, performance, persuasion, whatever you get,
I'll do
you're proficient with it.
performance. Should I roll now or when I start
Now,
talking or?
oh
Okay.
now let's know going in. So I need to know how
All
people
right.
are going to treat.
I'll do performance.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my performance outfit.
Okay.
Hey, cast guidance on yourself.
Oh shoot. But it's 12.
Is it the 12? I think it's the 12, right?
And then yes,
Wait.
it's 12 and then my proficiency bonus.
So 3, so 15.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's not bad. Okay. So people are heading in. So the scene the scene at the end, there's not many people there. So you open the door and you said you slam it. It's probably an awkward silence as you do. You probably turn around and you see one person at the bar. I think a halfling woman standing at the bar, maybe cleaning a wooden cup with a rag. There's two people sitting together at a table across the room at a low lit table. They look like merchants, perhaps. They do have crude weapons. They both carry like a scimitar, I think. They're dark skinned men. They're wearing sort of desert dwellers clothes. Fabrics and stuff to keep the sand off the body, off the skin, and also to shield from the sun. They probably have around their necks what would like like a mask that you would pull up over your mouth and nose, and they also probably have a cloth draped around their head, and they're just sort of sitting quietly, smoking, probably from a hookah in the corner, and they look up at you as you come in. Also at the bar is another gentleman who's a bit fair skinned, seems like he's from out of town, probably a traveling merchant as well. Dressed a bit finer, doesn't seem to be from here. But he's just sort of sitting at the bar drinking by himself.
I'll walk up to the bar, and I lift Havoc by his remaining horn. Me and my friend here will take your finest room.
Yeah, so the halfling woman, I guess, kind of starts as all the monsters walk into the walk into the inn, right? These are all humans. You guys are incredibly out of place, and you are matching a bounty poster that has been hung up in their town of presumably only 4 people. And one of them isn't from here. Okay. So I think she doesn't say anything at first. She puts the glass down. I think she doesn't even look at you. And neither does the guy at the bar. I think he more so intentionally looks away. She looks down at the cup she sets on the counter. And she says, "Sure, no problem. Each room is a gold a night."
Oh, don't worry, I won't be paying.
We're not looking for any trouble here.
I know. Take me to your finest room, then.
She looks at the guy at the bar.
Soul hears this and then walks out. He's just gonna stay outside.
Your passive perception's 12, right?
Yeah.
Is Ambien in there too?
Yeah, I'm by the bar. I'm hoping to ask the bar maiden if I could perform here.
What is Vaira's passive?
14.
Okay. So Ambien and Vaira, you don't notice this, Kshama. Ambien and Vaira
Right.
both notice her give the guy at the bar a look. He gives her a look back and nods his head. Then Ambien, only you notice this. He looks back at the 2 guys sitting at the table, and he gives them a look, and then they nod back. Then she doesn't look at Kshama, but she sort of adjusts her posture back to the conversation with him. And she says, "Right this way."
Well, you don't have to tell me twice. What are you waiting for? My friend here, he's dead tired. And he lets Havoc's body kind of fall to the floor and drags him by the horn. And follows her.
Okay. Yeah, she doesn't say anything. She doesn't seem necessarily afraid. She's just not. She's disinterested, kind of. She's not like shaking or anything, like she should be probably. But yeah, she escorts you up the stairs and shows you the best room they have, which is not great. I mean, it's a bed in a room, and there's a torch on the wall, and there's a dresser made of old wood. And there's like places on the dresser where people have left candles burning, and the wax has sort of become one with the top of the dresser. The bed is padded with straw, but it is lined with a sheet and stuff. Maybe some. There's probably some basic hides, sort of at the foot of the bed that you can choose to cover up with. Choose from. Yeah, and that's about it. It's big enough for a turtle, but it's the two of you might have trouble. Meaning you and Havoc.
Is there like a coat rack or anything in
No,
the
but
room,
there's
or
no.
any sort of hook on the wall?
There's yeah, there might be a hook on the wall, or just a chair to sit down in, or
Alright.
just an empty corner.
If there's a hook on the wall, then I'll hook Havoc's horn onto it and set him on the hook.
Yeah. Okay.
Can the hook
Make an
hold that
athletics check
much
to
weight?
slide the bed over to the door and block it.
I don't think you have to make a check. I think you can.
Okay. I'll slide the bed over, block it, and then take a couple of the hides off, lie them on the ground, lie down, and go in my shell.
All right, you going straight to sleep?
He's had a good day.
All right. Okay. Well, while that's going on, the rest of you guys want to do anything while she's upstairs, or she's gonna come right back down?
Alright. I tell Vaira that, Vaira, don't you notice that these guys are looking at us? Maybe they want to see my performance. Maybe they're attracted to my beauty.
When Vaira, or when Ambien points the other two guys out to Vaira, she's gonna say, considering how close we are to the desert where we were last known to go, I don't think they're wanting to see your performance.
You don't know that. You didn't ask them, didn't you? Here, grab my alms box and I'll start performing, and then you ask for money.
I think we should follow Soul and Kitty.
Oh, where did they go?
They left.
They didn't want to
Do
stay
we know
here?
if Ambien was successful as a performer before? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, was he how successful was he as a street performer?
For a long time, Vaira thought
Geisha
Ambien
performer.
was a girl because Ambien had a disguise of like a geisha. So
Yeah.
I think he does pretty good.
I mean,
Backstory there.
we haven't talked about it a whole lot, so I'm curious about your take on it. But at the very least, we know Ambien's great with costumes. We have no idea really about acting ability. I don't think. Have we seen? I don't know if we've seen a lot of
No,
that.
we haven't. We haven't. He's just into the performing arts. That doesn't mean like he's a master.
Yeah.
Alright, I was just
So,
wondering
I mean,
if we knew
Yeah.
how
I'm curious if you
how
if you
good
if
he
you want
was.
to tell us a little bit here. This is a good opportunity.
Okay. So his story was that he was, when he was born, like people, like his family wanted him to be a cleric. So he went to like priesthood, but then he didn't really like it. He was more into the arts. That's why, like, remember that what made him, like, what was your first time dealing with magic? We mentioned about that before with when we were heading to the Wellsprings.
Yeah.
When there was that trap.
Yeah.
And his was like when he saw performers dancing. So he was more into the arts, and then later on he's like he during like preschool or whatnot, at night he goes out and asks alms and then starts performing at night, cross dressing on the sideline.
Right on. Cool.
But yeah, now he's in his 30s, but he was caught because somebody wanted more than his performance, and then he was deemed as a What do you call that word? Charlatan.
So I'm just putting the pieces together here. What I gather happened is some rich noble thought maybe mistook him for a different gender, and
Mm-hmm.
when he figured it out, he was embarrassed and got angry, basically.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Just for the record, I don't think it would be really like taboo to cross dress. I don't know. I kind of imagine it more like Shakespeare during Shakespeare times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the actors were cross dressing and stuff to play the female
Mhm.
characters and stuff. It might be kind of a normal thing for actors to do at least. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a cool story. I dig it.
Yeah.
So would the question now is would the rest of the player characters have sort of learned some of this in the time they spent around Ambien?
I don't think he mentioned
I
any of
don't
that
think
yet.
so.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You guys don't seem like the sharing type.
As interested as Ella is in learning other characters' backstories, Vaira could care less. If you're useful, you're useful, and that's all she cares about.
Yeah. And Kshama is kind of busy trying to murder everyone. So
I mean, peaceful Kshama might have heard a little bit about it because he would have been
yeah,
not really interested, but he would sit down and listen if someone was talking.
yeah, Crudiat might have given you info before he's sending you on the job.
Yeah.
Kind of to let you know who
And
you're
if
watching
he
out
does
for.
know that from when he was more peaceful, he'd probably be embarrassed by the fact that he'd sat through and listened, so he might pretend like he didn't even know it.
Right on.
Didn't Ambien tell Havoc or something? Didn't you like try to flirt with him
Yeah,
at one point?
but he's dead.
Poor Havoc.
Such
Such a shame what had to happen.
what had to happen. Okay.
I guess when Sol left, he probably would have just like found a place to hide and probably just sit and wait there. Because I think he, as soon as Kshama said that, he probably knew that something was there was no good news gonna happen because he knows what happens when Kshama gets like that. So he wanted to be as far away from him as possible.
Okay. So you just went outside and looked for a place to hide?
To hide. Yeah.
What kind of place are you looking for? Just a random building, or are you trying to?
Like a corner somewhere, or like an alleyway, or
I don't think that the buildings here are close enough together for there to be
a
alleyways.
shadowy spot.
But yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
you could walk around the other side of the back side of the inn, find a place where there's no windows to just sort of sit for a minute.
Yeah.
Something like that would be fairly easy. There might even be one or two trees somewhere that you could sort of sit under or behind. Not many, but there might be one or two somewhere. As far as that, probably just other houses, right?
Right. We'll probably just find the spot and then just. What time is it right now? Do we know?
Probably about. I think I said about dusk-ish.
Okay, yeah, he'll probably just wait there, and um, he will probably actually also count all the loot that he's gotten throughout the adventure, because I know they got some treasure from that room where the orb was, and he hasn't actually had time to take stock.
Okay. Cool. So you're going over your spoils. Anything in particular you want to mention? You got it
Well,
all. I saw you guys were doing an inventory before the show. You guys got it all taken care of and stuff, right?
Well, no,
Yeah.
what, we didn't
Mostly.
decide who is holding on to the 2 potions.
Okay. Well, maybe.
Oh, I
With all the
assumed that
money.
Kshama had it.
If Kshama was able to have it, then Kshama will have it.
Because I think the only people who went into the treasure room was Soul and Kshama.
Oh yeah, then Kshama would have
And
them.
Soul was able to grab some gold and hide it from Kshama, but the rest of the stuff went to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that, yeah, the money and things I split up to appease party members, but he would keep the things that couldn't be split up.
Right.
Okay.
Because
I
it's the
mean-
only generous thing to it's the only fair thing to do. Just to keep it.
Well, also, like, Rudyat wanted some of that stuff, right? That
Yep.
relic in
Screw
particular.
that guy, it's mine now.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Cool. So you go out and find a place to sit down and relax away from the impending chaos that is Kshama.
He would actually probably like inspect the armor of the keeper that he found.
Yeah.
And then probably brainstorm some ideas of how he could implement it into Kitty.
Yeah. This might be where you get the idea to find someone who can affix it to the cat. Certainly. We've talked about functionally what it would do, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so for anyone watching, the armor of the keeper is basically they got when they got into the clear at Wellspring, they fought a fey-like creature that was inside of a robotic machine. Basically, is the best way to describe it. It was the keeper of the Wellspring, and it had been maddened over the millennia of being stuck in there. And when they killed the thing, its armor split apart and broke apart. And Soul got some of the pieces of it, and is finding a way to use it as armor for Kitty. Cool. All right. Well, while that's going on, those of you guys who are still inside, maybe I think the halfling woman comes down from upstairs and goes back to sort of tending the bar. Yeah, nobody's really speaking. None of the people they're all kind of silent since you guys walked in. Sort of an awkward, tense silence has sort of filled the room. I mean, when you guys aren't talking, of course.
Mm-hmm. Vaira's still trying to get Ambient to leave
Look for.
the inn
Oh.
instead of trying to do a performance.
Should we leave Kshama here?
I am fine with leaving him here. I don't want to stay in the same place as him.
That's true. Okay, let's go. Let's go up. Leave
Yep.
him be.
Vaira doesn't mind camping out.
So how far from the inn are you guys gonna go?
I think we're gonna try and look for Soul.
I mean, Soul's probably pretty close by, maybe just around the other side of the inn. Or a building nearby. I would say Soul's probably within 50-ish feet.
Well, if he's behind the inn, we wouldn't know unless we looked back there.
It's true.
Well, we could always make our own house and rest there.
Yes.
Should we do it now? It takes me 10 minutes to prepare.
Let's find a good place out of the way. So if those guys try to follow, we have more hidden spot.
Okay.
And she'll. So the inn's the biggest building, or no?
Yeah, I mean it's the biggest building.
Okay.
It's probably like
Then yeah, she'll.
2-3 stories.
Okay. If it's the biggest building, she'll go and see if there's anything that they can hide, like behind her, or like a stable or anything.
Yeah, there's probably a small stable. It's got straw strewn across the floor and stuff. There's no animals in it. But it's probably attached to one side of the inn. It's nothing fancy. It's maybe 3-4 stalls. And it's less of like a stable building and more of just like a cover and under which to hitch your horses.
So no actual little stalls.
I mean, there's stalls and they do close. It's just that it's almost more of like a patio, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
It's not like a full barn or anything.
Yeah. Do you want to sit up here? Actually, does the tiny hut destroys stuff that's in the space, doesn't it? Because it pushes it out.
We
I
open
don't think it
up.
does.
No.
No.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
Cool. We could set it up and we could use the stalls as bedrooms.
Yeah, I mean,
Airbnb.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you could do that. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Vaira will recommend that to Ambien. Since I do not see soul, we just don't have to deal.
Yeah, maybe he's tinkering with that kitty. I'll start setting the hut up. And in 10 minutes. Is this a ritual? I'm not sure. Is tiny hut a ritual?
It can be a ritual.
Yeah. So yeah, 10 minutes then.
Okay.
Cast this, and then the light will be. I'm gonna bend the light so that nobody can see us from inside. It looks like it's just an empty stable or patio.
Isn't it opaque?
Yeah, I think it's opaque.
Oh, it can't be like. Okay. This is color.
You
Take
can make
white.
it the same color as
Yeah.
the stall, like the wood and stuff.
Okay, let's make it brown.
Okay. You do? I mean, you're able to do these things. These things happen. So nobody but Kshama stays in the inn, right? Everyone else is sleeping outside in the stables.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just outside.
Okay, but you guys don't interact with the people working there or nothing. You're just going off by yourselves in the empty stables, quote unquote
yeah.
stables.
Soul left basically because Kshama was going to do something, and he didn't want to be around for it.
I mean, he kind of did already, right? Like he already committed one crime.
Which is and Soul left for that too.
And Soul has the alter self, so people don't even know it's him, anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think it's pretty clear that they recognize it, those of you guys who weren't in disguise. I mean, a
Kshama and Vaira.
sticks out like a sore thumb, and whatever
So many
Vaira
crimes
is.
to commit in the morning.
Do what?
So many crimes to commit in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's a thing that happens. So, I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Just go to sleep? Get up the next
Probably
morning?
long rest. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to attune to that, or like inspect on that inert crystal ball that fell on the wellspring.
The orb.
Isn't it broken?
Yeah, it fell because what's his face didn't catch it.
Okay.
It's broken, but it's not fixed yet.
I had assumed you were already attuned to it.
Oh, I thought like we need a long rest to do
We've been
that.
traveling for a couple
Well,
nights, I think, right?
Yeah.
It takes us a couple days or so to travel
Oh,
through
okay.
the desert, so you would have had time to attune.
Yeah. It was
All
like
right.
it was at
on.
least 3 days from the wellspring to here, I think. Something like that.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So I'm attuned to it.
Right on. You are attuned. Okay. Well, if you guys want to just fast forward through the long rest, we can. But before we do that, who's doing what watches? And Kshama obviously is not putting anybody on watch. We'll say Kshama's putting Havoc on watch for the entire night.
What?
He's hung up on a hook.
Yeah.
And is just watching over the entire.
Actually, you know, I probably wouldn't have hung him by the horn if it was sharp enough. I would have probably hung him by the inside of his mouth and just stuck it through him.
Oh. Where? Like his back or something?
Most
Like meat hook style, actually.
You know, I really
most
don't.
coat hooks have a rounded knob so that it doesn't destroy your clothing.
Yeah. I feel like it
I said if it was sharp enough.
Yeah.
In that case, he probably just like he probably puts the knob in his mouth and kind of hangs him like that on it.
Just whatever way I can make it humiliating for Wolf is how I
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah.
All right, I gotcha.
It has to be fun when he goes back and watches the VOD to catch up.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what it's fine. We can just say I don't think that you'd be able to do that with a person with and a coat hook, just like knowing how they're shaped. But sure, I'll allow it. Because I don't want you to. I just don't want you to hang him up by
Generous
something
DM.
worse than his mouth. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you do that. All right. And you're just gonna go to sleep? Is that it?
Oh yeah. We're
Okay.
fine.
Cool.
That's all I need to do.
So morning comes. No. How about you guys out in the shed? We haven't talked about watch for you guys yet.
Oh yeah. We'll do 4.
Well, nothing else
4
can come
hours.
into the dome until it's down. So I don't know if we need to do watch. We'll probably wake up surrounded no matter if we take watch or not anyways.
That's true.
But if we do a watch, I would vote for I like one of us at doing watch for the last 2 hours, and then one of us doing watch for any other time. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So about 3 hours in to your rest when nobody's on watch, right?
I don't know when would.
It'll be during the second watch.
Yeah, nobody probably would have woken up to do second and third watch.
Right.
So it'd be like first and last.
So during the second watch, there's a loud bleeding noise. Not bleeding as in like blood, but bleeding as in like bat.
Tea.
Oh,
noise.
bleating.
Yeah, bleating coming from the edge of the dome. I think it's loud enough that it eventually wakes you guys up.
Oh, it seems there's a goat here.
How'd you know it was a goat? It could have been a sheep. It was a goat.
Yeah.
Good guess.
But
Or a
Very-
small human.
But
you know what? Let's count some of them and put them to sleep.
Vaira's gonna look up and check to see. Oh,
What?
I can't sleep.
Oh, you can't sleep on it? All right. Let me. I didn't have a sheet up for him, so. Let me. I mean, I'm pretty sure goats have less than 27.
20.
And if there are a lot,
And unless there's 27 with 1 HP or.
Oh, they have 4 HP. So yes, it goes to sleep. It basically ragdolls in front of the stable, like mid-bleat. It's like meh, meh, and it's just like a pile on the ground. Okay.
Did you poke your head out for that?
I don't think you just have to point within a range.
Well, I don't think magic can go through the.
Yeah,
The
effects
wall.
can't go through.
Oh, it can't. Yeah, then I might have to just. What about if my hand just goes out from the dome and then cast it there? Does the dome like disappear? I haven't really like understood.
We've been doing it so that O'Dane can poke his head out.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Before.
You don't step out of it. If you don't like step completely out of it, I think you're fine. You have to leave.
Yeah,
its
then
area.
I just take out my hand and then cast it.
Okay. Yeah. Goat passes out. No problem. You guys go back to sleep.
Yep.
I wake up Vaira. Vaira, it's probably best that you do watch and I'll do the last one. Just in
Okay.
case.
Vaira will.
Okay, so you're
So
gonna
I guess
keep watch the rest of the night. So there's gonna be the rest of the second watch. Then there's a third and fourth watch, right?
I think she's gonna. Because this was the middle of the second, so I think she would do for 2 hours and then.
Yeah.
And then go like wake Ambien.
Okay, and then Ambien can do a full watch, and then there's still gonna be about an hour, hour and a half ish left at the end. So you can do that. You can just leave. You can just leave another. I mean, you guys already slept through 2.5 ish hours of the night. With nobody on watch. You can just do that for an hour and a half longer if you like. And just
I don't know if Vaira would wake up.
I mean, you can just leave it at the end.
Yeah.
You could just do 2 hours.
How long does that thing stay asleep?
I mean, I'd imagine it was way.
Oh, it's 1 minute.
Oh, really?
I mean, if it wants to just sleep, it could just sleep,
Well, it says it stays asleep until the spell ends, and the spell is duration of 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a minute later, it wakes up. It's like an alarm clock that you hit the snooze button on. And a minute later, it starts beeping again, and you just want to throw that thing across the room.
Yeah, Vaira will immediately poke her head out and just can I use Mind Sliver? Just a second.
Oh no.
Yeah, I can use Mind Sliver on it, I think.
Oh no.
She's gonna mind.
What does Mind Sliver do?
Oh, that didn't
Psychic damage.
Apparently, it links to nothing.
Yeah, let me
That's
try.
the effect of Mind Sliver. You can't see that it's linked. She targeted you with it. We can see it fine.
Oh no! The meta spell.
There. For some reason, I have to go in and fix that. that was one of the ones I had to type by hand.
It gives
mean-
them
But yeah,
migraine.
I mean, goat has to make an intelligence save first. Let's not count the goat out, okay? He has an intelligence of 2.
20.
Right? The D20 minus 4. All right.
Has to roll a 19 or 20 to say.
Oh.
Poor girl was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He rolled an 11. That is a failure, and the goat dies. I think
They won't know what killed it because there's no
Right.
fire or anything. It's just dead.
I think its eyes and nose hemorrhage, and it collapses and falls to the ground. Like it has like an aneurysm. Like like its eyes turn red and fill up with blood, and its nose starts bleeding, and it probably like it tries to bleat a few times, and it kind of gargles, and then just collapses to the ground dead. And that is one dead goat. Yeah. Good job, Vaira.
Vaira goes back to sleep.
All right. So no one don't need to worry about the watches then. The goat's dead.
Yeah, when I kill things that are interrupting our sleep, I get murdered. But Vaira can just execute a goat. This isn't fair.
Well, to be fair, you murdered someone else first on a different character.
Oh yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay, so dead goat. I guess we can skip through the rest of the long rest then. Who should I start with? Let's roll a d2. If I roll a 1, I'll start with Kshama. If I roll a 2, I will start with the rest of them. I just need to see what rolls. Okay, so 2, the rest of you guys. So you guys out in the stables. Okay.
Soul somewhere else though.
I'm somewhere else.
Oh, you are? Where are
Didn't you
you?
tell me I was like behind the building or something?
Oh yeah, I just assumed you would link up with them at some point, I guess. Sorry, man. What are you doing? What are you doing while they're sleeping?
Oh,
and
I
stuff?
would just be sitting down,
Okay.
long resting.
Yeah, I guess you just gotta sit there, and you can be sort of awake and looking. You can see and hear and all that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough. I don't think. What's your passive perception? Well, it's lagging. It's a robot, and
You went into low power mode and got
yeah,
there.
you sound like you're in character right now, man.
14.
Oh, okay, 14. All right, let me just see something. No. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I don't think anything bothers you. Nothing comes out there and bleats at you, or anything like that. Okay.
I guess after the long rest, maybe around like when the sun comes up, I probably would go looking for them.
Okay. Well, let me roll a d3 then, and see who we start the day with. 3 will be Soul. The other 2 will be Kshama for 1, and you get the thing.
Right.
Okay, so Kshama we're starting with, I guess. Okay, Kshama, you wake up. Your bed is still barricading the door. Havoc is still hung up by his mouth. Life is good.
Kshama gets out of his shell, or gets his head and arms and legs out of his shell,
Mm-hmm.
yawns, sits up. Well, Havoc, time to start the day. Moves the bed aside, pulls him off the hook, flings him back over his shoulder. Probably just uses the horn to hook him into the shell. He scatters a bit of the straw, opens the door, and he'll walk down stairs and walk out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you walk down the stairs, and when you get to the bottom of the stairs, you see a body lying in the bar area.
Well, that's always nice.
Yeah.
Whose body? Do I recognize it?
Yeah, I think at first you just see it's sort of behind maybe the counter. It looks like just a leg, right, or something. You're just seeing part of it. And when you have to kind of walk towards the body to get a better look. And when you do, you see it's the Halfling Woman. There's a pool of blood underneath her. Across the room, at the table where the two guys were sitting, are two torsos without a head. There's blood all over the table. One of them is still like got his hand on the handle of the mug on the table, like one of the corpses. The heads are nowhere to be seen. And also the guy that was sitting at the bar is now been disemboweled and just thrown back in a corner across the other side of the room. And when I say disemboweled, I mean it's like someone cut open his torso and then played with what was in there and just like threw it around like silly string.
He looks around at the carnage. A little sloppier than I would have done it myself, but good work nonetheless. I walk back up to my room, and I'll firebolt the straw that was spread for my bed, and light it, and then I'll walk back downstairs and walk out.
So here's the thing. Make a perception check when you walk back into the room.
All right.
Never mind.
It's a beautiful day.
Let me just check some stuff here. 1 second. Okay, never mind. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary at all.
Other than the bodies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the corpses.
Yeah, after I've lit the building on fire, I'll walk out.
Okay, all right.
He's kind of fine with this. He's thinking that this is probably Vaira, and he doesn't have a problem with it. He doesn't like her a little bit more.
Logical.
Vaira is
yeah, he
sad that
walks
it
out.
wasn't her.
I mean, he was thinking about doing it himself, and someone just saved him all the work. Yeah, he leaves.
Okay. Well, I guess as we see you heading for the door, we switch to I don't know. I'll roll a D2. 1, we go to the stables. 2, we go to Soul. Okay, stables it is. So yeah, I guess you guys, who wakes up first, do you think?
Probably Vaira, because I think I remember Ambien saying he needed his beauty sleep during one of our previous watches. So
Okay.
Kids wire open.
All right.
yeah,
So what's your passive?
14.
Okay. I think the first thing you notice when you wake up is the smell of blood.
Well,
You-
she did kill that sheep or that goat. So.
Yeah, you did. That's fair. Do you? I mean, you get up and take a look around, take stock of things before the others wake up, kind of thing.
Yeah, she is going to look around and make sure there's nobody there waiting for them to exit.
There's nobody there, but the corpse of the goat has been segmented. There's been a lot of the blood smeared on the barrier of the tiny hut. And it was cut apart. Like they removed the limbs and they probably pulled out the tongue, and they sort of made like an ornamental, like a mantelpiece out of it, like a crude yeah, a little decoration of organ and goat skull and eyeballs and stuff like that. And it's
I
just sort
should
of sitting there in front of the stable, sort of facing into where you guys were sleeping. Just like a little gift for you when you wake up.
She mutters to herself, I should have thought of that. She's going to assume that Kshama threw a fit because he couldn't come attack them when they were sleeping. And did that to the goat. And she's gonna nudge Ambien awake.
What seems to be the matter, Vaira?
Make
It is
a
time to wake up.
make a intelligence check, Vaira. You used to be better at these, but
I used to be so much better. Second. It wouldn't be anything to do with Arcana, right?
I'll allow an Arcana check if you want, but it's gonna be different information.
I'll do a normal.
Okay, I think that's probably good enough. It's just a little too methodical for Kshama.
Mm.
Kshama is the kind of guy who goes in there and just beats the crap out of people to get what he wants. Like, he doesn't really, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. He doesn't really sneak up to a camp at night right by people while they're asleep and like cut up stuff quietly and make like effigies. As
I
just
mean, I might do that.
Probably.
Minus the sneaking up part. I just walk up next to the camp and start killing things without a word. But I wouldn't try to sneak up and do it.
Yeah. I don't I feel like you'd probably know that if Kshama did this, you probably would have heard something or there would be tracks or
True. So I guess that means the next person wouldn't be considered either if there's no track. Because
Sorry.
she would think Soul did it if she didn't think Kshama did it.
Yeah, I mean I should have you roll perception for the tracks, but I'll just tell you there's no tracks.
Okay. In that case, I should have rolled for the Okay.
Well, that's kind of why I was like, yeah, you can roll Arcana if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're still sus, I mean, it makes sense that you might take a little extra time.
Yeah,
and,
I think
uh,
before Ambien gets the thing to drop or before it drops on us, she's gonna try and figure out what caused that.
Okay.
Where's the art? Nope.
I mean, it could be some kind of dark magic thing. If it was some kind of magic, it would definitely be evil stuff. Like this is probably almost definitely like blasphemous. Doing something like this is pretty sick. But other than that, I don't think you really get anything with a 9.
Okay. Do you think Soul made it?
Oh, I don't think he would ever do this.
No, I mean
he's a
made it
baby.
through the night. I mean made it through the night.
I like that. That's good.
Maybe Kitty, but I don't think Soul would ever do such a thing. Let's remain vigilant. I cast vigilance on myself.
But Vaira's she's actually meaning do you think Soul made it through the night, as in like didn't get attacked or anything?
Hopefully he's fine. We might have to look for him. But let me do my prayers and prepare some spells. It will just take a minute or so, and then we can head out, look for him.
Okay.
All right. So I guess now we'll switch to Soul.
So
yeah, what's going on, Soul? You wake up. You wake up in the spot. You went to sleep. There's nothing out of the ordinary. You don't see any blood or bodies right around you. There's not a whole lot going on. Everything seems normal.
I would probably go to the inn at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm assuming I'm gonna see Kshama there.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you want to? I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to walk up before, while he's walking out, or after? Like, what do you guys think? What do you think would be good here? Do you want to bump
I
into
feel
him?
like I would have. I would be fine bumping into him, but I'd rather be outside by the time he gets there.
I
But I
think
don't know.
I think Sol would have woken up before like dawn started. Like, cause he wouldn't really need sleep. He would just wake up when his
Yeah,
rest
that
is
would make
over.
sense.
It does say you only need to be in that state for 6 hours,
Yeah.
not
So
8.
I might have gone to the inn before he had woken up.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it does make
Alright.
sense. So sure,
And
you
if,
can
if
walk.
that's the case, then he's gonna assume that Kshama did something.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, when you walk in there, even if it is a full 2 hours before he wakes up, which maybe it's not, I don't know. But either way, the bodies are there. Yeah, you see all the same stuff.
And he's gonna inspect them just to see if any of them are Ambien and Vaira. I'm assuming, do I have to roll for that, or just say that he knows?
I
that he
think you'd
doesn't- that they're not
recognize.
there?
Yeah, I think you'd recognize pretty easily that
Mm-hmm.
maybe well, no, because it's a halfling. Nobody's that short in the group, so she was like face down on the floor. You might have to. I was gonna say you might have to turn her over, but no. I think you can tell just by eyeballing that it's not anybody in your party.
Outside of checking the bodies, can I also just investigate to see what happened? Are there any clues to what happened?
Sure. You can make a investigation check, or if you want to roll some other checks, an Arcana, or
I
okay.
could do
Ooh,
investigation.
good stuff. What was that? What was that noise?
Sorry, my puppy woke up from her nap and she's complaining.
Oh, I thought it was that goat from earlier. All right. So, here's the thing. The guy at the bar was clearly moved afterwards.
Mhm.
It seems like he was stabbed in the chest at the bar because there's blood where you saw him at the bar. There's blood all over the floor and the chair and stuff. And then there's no blood trail from there to the wall. He's sort of slumped up against. He's sort of like sitting down back against the wall, and his entrails have been pulled out and just strewn everywhere, like someone was throwing them around for fun. So there's not a trail from the bar to there, but there's a lot of stuff that's gotten around on the floor and walls where he is.
Right.
Which, it's kind of weird. But he's the only one that seems really like they were moved. I suppose the halfling woman, I mean, because you're having to like turn the bodies over and inspect them. You're doing the CSI Miami
Right.
crime scene investigation, right?
And he's also probably looting them while he's doing that. if there's anything on
Enhance.
them.
Yeah, I mean they don't have much.
Right.
They're
I didn't
basic.
think so.
They're basic clothes and maybe a few gold each. I think maybe like here I'll roll a d6 for each of them. Because there's 4 people, so I need to roll 3 more d6. All right, so yeah, that's how much gold they have total altogether.
Okay.
11. Yeah, there's no weapons left behind, so the halfling woman is lying face down in a pool of blood. You pull her, like you grab her shoulder and like pull her up to like flip her over to take a look at the wound. And it's a stab wound. Straight in the heart, quick, Yeah, she bled out probably within seconds to minutes. But it's as if someone stabbed her where she was standing and she just fell to the ground. The other two bodies that were sitting together, those are the weird ones because the hand is still grabbing onto the cup at the table, like the guy was in the middle of drinking or in a conversation, and the body hasn't moved at all.
Mhm.
Looking at it, the scene, you can tell that they weren't staged. Like, this is how they died. You can tell that just from being a good investigator that they weren't staged this way. So something was able to get in either quick and fast enough to cut off the heads and hide them somewhere without disturbing the body at the same time, right? Because both of them are sitting at the table as if nothing was abnormal, right?
Right.
I think maybe the other guy has like a hand on the hookah hose or something, you know. Yeah, so either something moved so fast that it killed them instantly and their bodies didn't even move before like rigor mortis set in, or it's possible that something held them there somehow, like something forced them to stay still.
How does the hookah look? Is it untouched, unfazed?
Uh, yeah, I think that it's a fairly, it's not like the best quality hookah. It's probably got a couple cracks in it, but there's still like a fair amount of hookah in it. It's all burned out. It's mostly ash, but there's like still a bowl of stuff there. There's also like water in it or whatever. And it does have some like slight blood splatter on it. There is some blood splatter on the walls near the bodies at the table in sort of like a horizontal motion. Yeah, and there's probably a lot of blood just all over the bodies. Like it
Right.
just poured out all over the place afterwards. I mean, it's some probably got on the table and the floor and stuff too, in the chairs that they're sitting in. But the bodies themselves didn't move in any way, really.
Okay, Soul's gonna stop investigating. He's gonna look at Kitty. Kitty, look at these poor organics. Pitiful. Let's go look for Vaira and Ambien. You think they're upstairs? And then he's gonna go look into the rooms
Okay.
to see if they're there.
Yeah, you go upstairs and it's a bunch of empty rooms mostly until you get to the one at the end of the hall. And you go to open it and it won't budge.
Okay, Soul's not gonna try. He's just gonna leave the inn.
Okay.
Looks like they're not there. Let's go look for them somewhere else. And then he's gonna explore the rest of the town.
Yeah, I think looking around just near the inn, you'll eventually find them. Maybe around the time you stumble into them is the same time that Kshama has gotten up and is coming out of the inn.
hmm
Obviously, he's not there with you guys, but just to kind of put things in time perspective of when events happen.
Right.
Yeah, so if you want to just go ahead and meet up with them, or we can go to like you
That sounds
finding.
good.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do, that's fine.
I'll stumble onto the stables.
Okay. Sure. So you stumble onto the stables and you find the corpse of the goat, presumably still arranged.
And a giant bloody dome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I'm assuming they can see me from outside or from inside.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
If they're still in it. Are you just talking about the goat, as he walks up, or what's going on there?
No, I gave her a berry, like a good berry.
Oh, okay.
And we're talking about like Havoc dying and how Ambien misses Havoc.
Oh, see, I gotta pay attention to chat more during sessions. Okay.
I missed reading. Oh, because before I used to, when he fell, I used to feed him by my mouth.
I remember that.
Now he's dead and he won't even stay awake. But, oh, here's Soul. And I head out from the dome. What seems to be the matter? Wait, quick question. Did we long rest?
Yeah.
Or was this like interrupted
No, you guys all got your
because
long.
of the book?
Yeah, you all
Okay.
get your long rest.
Cool. So
Oh,
what
you guys are
happened?
alive. I should
It-
be asking you that question. What happened here?
Real quick, is the blood dry or wet that's on the dome?
Oh shoot.
Well, it's been there at least like it couldn't have been more than 5 hours. It's been there, so it's definitely been there
Mhm.
less than 5 hours. I don't know.
I don't know how fast.
If it happened at the same time as what happened in the inn, then it's probably been there at least 2 hours, longer
Okay.
or longer. So I would say, yeah, it's probably dry. The stuff
Okay.
smeared because it's a thin layer of blood and it's smeared on the dome. It's probably dry. Yeah, I think 2 hours would be enough.
So when Ambien steps out, and it goes away, the dried blood just like crumbles or
Falls
something.
on them.
Yeah, probably. Or like the wind picks it up maybe and it blows in a randomly determined direction.
That works.
I don't know if it'd be kind of funny if one of you guys got a bunch of blood flakes blown in your eye or something. Anyways, sorry. Go on. So yeah, the
Where's Kshama?
Are you asking me? I left him with you.
No. Oh. He's probably by the inn. Did you check?
Well, it looks like whatever happened here also happened at the inn. Because there's a bunch of meat bags there and they're all dead. No Kshama though.
Hmm. It's probably the root cause of this. Oh. Well,
No one else was there when I checked the rooms. But there was one room that was stuck that I couldn't get in. But otherwise, no sign of Kshama.
are there any people there, or are they all just dead?
No, they're all dead. You're welcome to look.
Okay. How about we go there together?
Sounds fine to me.
Vaira?
Yes, we can go.
Okay. We're going to the inn then.
all right.
Back to the inn.
I think is it fair to say, Tim, that they bump into you on the way to the inn at least?
Yeah, but the only thing is, I would have, right as I was about to walk out the door, kind of like raised a hand, like, wait, I forgot something. Turn around, reach into my shell, pull out a gold coin, and flip it over the counter. And thank you for your services, madam, and then walk out.
I thought you said you weren't paying.
Well, I mean, they're
Tipping.
dead now.
Well, she might none of this might have happened if you just would have paid your bill. I'm just kidding. Okay.
That'll teach it. Yeah, he'll leave it gold. And he chuckles. Got what you deserved. And then walks out.
All right.
That would probably be when he bumped into them,
Okay.
I'd guess.
So you guys approach the inn, and he comes outside laughing.
Great work on there, Vaira. You could prove useful like you were saying. I'm starting to come around to the idea.
Good. She's confused of what she did, but she's gonna go along with it. I'm glad you believe me now.
Did my fire take that I started?
I mean, yeah, there's probably smoke
Okay.
coming from one of the windows or shutters. It seems like it's taking.
So, did you bring Havoc with you?
I point over my shoulder. Yep, he's still hanging in there. Because and then he laughs again at his own joke because he's hanging off of the shell.
Alright. Did you start that fire, Kshama? Or there's smoke coming out from that window?
Oh, yeah, I figured, might as well get rid of the place. Straw wasn't very good. A little bit old.
Are you just destroying property now?
Well, they're all dead. No one's there to use it. Best if there's no evidence I was ever here. We
You
are
could
being
say
hunted
that-
after all.
Are you sure there's no evidence?
No building, no evidence.
All right. Well then, where to next?
Could have just been a random fire. These things happen in the desert, you know?
Soul's gonna turn to Vaira. Where to next?
Oh wait, Kshama didn't realize that question was being asked to him.
Well, yeah, he did, but then he like didn't answer him, and so he just.
Oh, I thought you were
To
looking at
Vaira
Vaira. If you were
instead.
looking at Kshama and asking him, he'll say, well, I do need a new sword. And then I'll walk off looking for a weaponsmith.
Oh, we can't just try and leave because there's that mile. If we go more than a mile, we take damage. So I guess Farah's gonna say, yes, we must make sure he is well armed in case we run into bounty hunters. And she will try to get in front of Kshama to make it look like she's leading.
Kshama will use his action to dash each turn so he stays ahead.
Okay.
She's not gonna play that game. She'll stop if he does that.
What's the
He'll just
plan?
dash. He'll just start going faster whenever she's within 10 feet behind him because he has the blind sight and doesn't need to turn around. So he'll let her seem like she's close, but he won't let her pass him, no matter what.
All right. Where are you guys going?
To see if
Trying to
there's
find a
weapon.
weaponsmith or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
There's no building that obviously looks like a shop or anything. I mean, besides the one that's on fire now.
Do we know where the nearest town is?
Here,
From here?
why don't we? I'm gonna copy and paste you guys onto the world map here. Why don't we take a look? Just get it up and go in here.
Let me take a ration off.
Yeah. Everybody take off a ration and
about
water
that.
skin.
I think
Oh.
Ambien and Vaira ate a good berry
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
just
Mhm.
food, though, right? That doesn't cover thirst.
Water. Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Let me link it.
Yeah, we don't eat or drink, so I do. Our kitty does have um, rations on him. 14 rations of dried red meat.
Oh yeah, I have 4 rations of dried red meat.
I don't know if you guys want it.
I don't remember what it's from.
It
It
might
was
have
from
been
the walls of a
from.
cave.
I think we got
The
it
bugs
from
cave.
It might have been from the
Oh,
log.
Like
oh yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
that's right.
bugs. Because Havoc looted their caves, and I think he found it in there.
Okay, that makes sense.
But Soul will offer it to the organics who need to eat.
All right. Let me just pull you guys over here. So you should be able to see yourselves on the map there. Right. Now,
Wait, I need to zoom out.
Kshama, you know,
Mhm.
last you heard, Crudyat was headed to 5 Rings.
Okay.
But
Is I okay.
yeah, this is the map. This is kind of about where you guys are. You're in one of these squares, so I might as well just pile you guys all up, I guess, and just put you all in one square. And say this is the square you're in.
Okay.
And I think it is this square that you are all in.
Would I reasonably know the direction and distance that I need to go?
Yeah, you probably had to get here either from 5 Rings or from creation. I don't know, depending on what you guys decide you wanted to have come from. But yeah, I think it's reasonable that you you're on a road. I mean, here's kind of where the road starts, right? The road ends at the desert, kind of. But yeah, you kind of, I think, reasonably well know how to get there.
Do we know that Five Rings is the closest town or city, or are there other?
It's not the closest. Actually, creation is much closer if you look at the map. There's it's a little it's not as easy as just taking a road though, because the road to creation goes through a mountain pass here if you approach it from this side, so it's kind of a problem getting over or through the mountain. But there
Is
is,
creation just like a giant city?
yeah, it's an immense city. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I say immense, I mean look at the size of it. It would take
Right,
weeks
right.
to to like
It's like a
walk
whole
from.
country.
Yeah, yeah. It's huge. Each hex is a day's worth of travel, so that's one.
I didn't realize that was a city.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big old giant city.
Um,
But yeah, what do you
Shama's looking for weapons and then looking for crude yet.
So okay, so are we looking for weapons here in town? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Right. So you want to just you were looking for shops and stuff. None of them are clearly identifiable as shops. Do you want to just start walking into buildings?
Yeah.
Okay. So you pick a building. It looks like it might be a house, hovel of some sort, and you just walk in. No problem.
Yep.
It's dark. There's cobwebs everywhere, and there's no furniture. There's no books. There's no belongings of any kind. It's an abandoned house.
Does it look like it's been abandoned for a long time?
Yeah, there's cobwebs, like I said, and dust everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the nicest of hovels, but yeah, it's been clearly abandoned for a while.
Kshama shrugs and lights the house.
You're not gonna see if there's anything worth looting in there?
Kshama doesn't care.
Hmm.
Okay, so you light the house, and presumably walk outside. No problem.
Yeah. Next building.
Same thing.
What are you trying to do?
Should we go to creation, guys? If you're looking for weapons, I'm sure they have a lot of good weapons there.
Can I make? Seems like a good idea. Can I make an intelligence check and see if I can match up the fact that time was weird in the desert to the fact that it looks like everything has been abandoned for a long time?
Okay. Make an intelligence check. Sure.
Do I think that those things are related?
The town, the buildings don't look older than when you passed through before.
Hmm.
Like there wasn't many people here then either, really. But there is, you saw like when guys came through here before, you saw maybe one or two people walking around outside. If you, I don't, I presume that you guys didn't stay at the end because you didn't seem to know or recognize any of those people. It's the only reason I kind of assume that. But you guys did pass through here. Yeah, and yeah, it wasn't. The buildings haven't aged, since then. I think reasonably with a 17 intelligence, you can tell you guys didn't come. You haven't been gone for hundreds of years or anything like that. I didn't pull one.
I
of
wasn't
those.
sure if there was like.
It is weird.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on the stuff.
It is weird.
If I look around, is there anyone out and about in the
No,
road or
no, there's
anywhere?
Nobody. Only 4 people in this town are the people that were in
What?
the inn. And you guys, I mean, maybe one of you killed them.
I look around. Well, I don't think anyone's here.
Time to go then.
Yeah, Vaira's
go where?
okay with the fact that you haven't found a weapon yet, so she's like, "Yes, let's go."
Just so you know,
Yeah.
going to creation with a bounty on your head is suicide. Just so we're clear. I mean, you're going into
Okay.
it's like walking
Yeah.
into the White House when you're on the America's Most Wanted list or something. It's a dumb idea. If you're gonna hunt down Crudyat, you should go to 5 Rings and try to find a weapon on the way.
All right.
Do we?
Um,
why do we want to hunt? Why do we want to find him?
Well, he just wants revenge.
he's the one that put the bounty. Yeah. Kshama just wants revenge.
Okay, so
And because he wants it, collectively, we want it, right?
Or he's gonna hit you until you want the same thing.
if we kill
Works.
if we kill him, will it end this? And she'll hold up for bracing.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I would know that?
He wasn't in the room when they put it on him, right? He doesn't do the ritual himself, right? So no, killing him.
Okay.
I think you would know this. Killing him.
In
will
that
not
case,
break the spell.
I'll
But you can.
No, but it might make you feel a bit better.
You can torture him, right? There's things you can do to him to make him tell you how to get it off.
If we go to hunt him, can we force him to free us before we kill him?
As long as I'm the one that gets to kill him.
She'll agree to this. She'll shrug. Fine.
Just so we're clear, I don't trust you, you don't trust me, right?
I never trusted you.
Good.
Churchill, what is your game here? What is your plan?
Well, step 1, get weapons. Step 2, go to 5 rings. Step 3, torture, and he kind of rolls his eyes, and kill Crude yet.
And after that, what do you want with us?
We will be free after this.
After that, you aren't useful to me.
And does that mean you'll dispose of us, or you'll leave us alone?
Why would I kill you after?
Good enough for me.
If I wanted you dead, I would kill you now.
This crude yacht fellow, is he some turtle like you?
He's a human.
Wait, haven't we seen him?
Kshama replies,
You guys,
he's a human.
most of you guys,
Squishy.
most of you guys probably have met him, but if you haven't, it's not unreasonable that you haven't met him directly.
Squishy. Easy to kill.
Yeah, he
So
gets
deal
Oh, then let's go.
he gets people like
deal
Kshama
is-
to do his dirty work for him.
So deal is we go, we get him to free us, and then after we are free, you can kill him. You swear this on your thing you believe in?
Oh, yeah, sure. I swear it on the tower, and he raises a hand.
I forget how he swore the oath about swearing to his arcana that he would not kill her in exchange for her putting her blood in there.
When he
Did
was
he do something special?
a different guy, when he was
Oh right.
when he acted a little bit differently, he
He's changed.
I swore it
forgot.
on the cup.
yeah, on the cup, yeah,
Yeah.
Which-
Okay.
was not the tower, obviously, right?
Then
I'm
I thought the
asking.
cup was the.
I'm asking Tim. What was the arcana?
Yeah.
What was this?
It was temperance.
Temperance. Okay.
This is what I have in my note. Is he was tower when he did the oath.
Yeah, I think I swore it on the cup because you guys didn't know that it wasn't significant to me anymore.
Yeah.
I thought we stole the cup before.
I don't remember exactly.
Oh,
what
maybe then
happened.
I just swore to. Maybe I just swore to
think I have
temperance.
the cup. I think I have the cup.
I remember there was some sort of promise that I made that you guys thought was way more significant to me than it was.
I do remember.
I don't
that.
know. There's two different deals that I have in my notes, so I don't know which one it would be the one that you.
I do remember.
Kshama honestly probably didn't keep too much track of deals he made.
I do remember a thing where he had to swear on an arcana that he didn't care about anymore. I do remember that happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact.
Because I remember
context. I mean, it's only been 6
I swore
months.
on temperance while I was worshipping the tower, and I remember thinking that was really funny.
But if Vaira knew that your arcana was the tower at the time, she would have made sure you swore on the tower.
I don't think we knew anything about. who
I
you
think
were.
that one of them was on temperance. I think one of them was.
Okay.
I think I swore like one on each,
I see.
and whichever one was
Yeah.
second, I swore on the tower.
I don't know.
Anyways, Turtle, weapon shop sounds like a good idea. I need to find myself a better weapon as well. Let's go.
Kshama again will try to lead the way,
Okay. So
and start
go ahead.
start off towards 5 rings
Yeah. All right.
and try to stop at the nearest town.
Okay. So this is the part where we this is like the end of the episode where we just had a bunch of this weird stuff happen. We didn't really get any answers or conclusions or anything. Um, I think it's
Kshama still thinks Vaira did it.
I say that, but I think it's a good thing. I actually kind of like the way that we set this this first episode up. To be honest, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but anyways, we can talk about that later. So as the last thing we see as you guys are starting to hit the road towards 5 rings is I think the camera fades out on you guys walking away from the camera, and then it the last thing we see is like Havoc's hand as he's like slumped over your shoulder, the hand that the bracer came off, it's all ripped to shreds. We see the skin start to knit itself back together, and the hand twitches, and then we cut the credits.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. yeah, I think that's a good way to end it. So,
I like how you dangle the mystery in front of us, and then none of us cared.
well, the thing is, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, I figured you guys weren't gonna care. I kind of hoped you guys wouldn't care. To be honest, I didn't want you to stay and investigate. I wanted you guys from the beginning. I wanted you guys to just leave this town, but you spent the first 2 hours in a combat with each other. and
Vaira started it.
yeah, and then most of the stuff that happened with the inn was actually completely improvised. I didn't plan on killing the people in the inn or the goat. I didn't even plan on there being a goat. Until you guys were camping in the stables, and then I was like, all right, let's put a goat in here and see what happens. It's a party. But yeah, I didn't plan on you guys like I didn't really even plan on you going into the inn. I kind of hoped that we would just skip to 5 rings. But then when I was like, all right, let's give them this inn to play with so that they stop trying to kill each other for 5 minutes. And maybe we can do something with this. Yeah, so that's kind of the way that happened. But the stuff that happened there, it wasn't completely random. It's just that I didn't plan on doing those things like that. This will have something to do with, this these, what are we calling it? A mini series, I guess, mini shots. The thing we're doing with B Team for the next several sessions, it's gonna have
Side story.
Yeah, it's gonna have something to do. It's not just a random thing that happened and we'll never know what was going on. It has something to do with this sort of storyline, this story arc here. So we'll see. I didn't expect oh no, have we gone out of time and now we've come back after the apocalypse or something. I didn't expect that. That was a cool thing that happened.
I think everybody having died has something to do with Havoc.
Ooh, really?
At first I thought it might be his soul haunting us, but now I'm thinking it might be whatever he made a deal with, which Vaira doesn't know this. But I think whatever he made a deal with might have killed them to get life force to bring him back.
Ooh, that's a good theory.
I
like that theory.
That's a pretty good theory. Yeah. See, the thing is, I was planning on Wolf being here and bringing Havoc back at the beginning of the session. So I don't want to destroy that theory. It's a good theory. It's great. It's probably honestly better than what the DM could actually come up with.
Hey, you can use it if you want.
I mean, is our new strategy just kill Havoc and put him in a heavily defended building? And just hope that everyone there dies? Havoc becomes OP?
He's like a corpse grenade.
Yeah, we just catapult him over the ramparts and everyone in the building gets power word killed and Havoc comes back and opens the
door. There was some hints in there as to what exactly happened to the folks. Like when I was describing in particular, why the two guys at the table were the way they were.
Mm,
As far
something really fast.
do what? Yeah, I said it could be something really fast, or there was another thing I said it could be too. Where I was like, or maybe something held them like this, like forced them to stay still. There was a thing that I said. But yeah, maybe we'll find out one day.
6 months from now.
Since we changed our experience system, do we get any
Oh, yeah.
experience
I
for
need
this,
to
or are
give
you
you-
just
I need to give you guys
because you
experience.
could? I don't know if you want to do it this way. Just give us experience for A team only, and then whatever level our A team is the same instead of doing experience for both.
Well, now
know.
that you
This
mention
way,
it,
doing it where they both get experience just seems I don't know, like, because we got a bunch of free levels with B team, basically.
yeah, I see what you're saying. It does make sense. And to be honest, I don't want to have to rebalance this B team stuff as we move forward here. I always say I think it's only going to be a couple sessions for this arc, but it always turns out to be much, much longer, right? So I don't want to say how long it's gonna. I mean, it really should only be like 3 to 4 sessions tops, but there might be other stuff that comes up. I don't know, because so much of it tends to be improvised. Like basically, this whole session was improvised. So like, I don't know. I just never know. But yeah, I don't want to have to rebalance the B team stuff because I had to convert it all from Pathfinder basically for the most part, and it was a pain in the butt to do that, and I can only imagine how rebalancing like it's going to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So
well, I think if we don't, I think if we don't, think we'll level up from this little arc anyways, that it would be fine in my opinion.
What are you guys
if we don't
at
get
right now?
experience for B team, but
We're at
We're
64.
60. Yeah.
Or I'm at 64.
Orlin
We're all in the
60,
mid
like-
60s.
Yeah,
Okay.
Orlin's
Mid to low.
63 out of 100, so
I think you guys should get experience. It's like your reward for showing up. Okay, Wolf doesn't get experience today, but he was just a corpse the whole session, right? So
You could give us the XP and then we just don't level up until if we get enough to level up, then you level up until we swap back to A team maybe.
yeah,
So they don't have to
we can do that.
rebalance.
Yeah, we can do that.
okay. Okay, so Vaira and Kshama take 1 experience for combat. You guys get one experience.
Yay, it wasn't the pointless.
You guys
combat.
get 1 experience more than
We got a
everybody
thing
else.
for it.
I guess
We did it.
Ambi. No.
Yeah, ambient help.
Yeah, but then it's like Soul's the only one who didn't get experience for it.
That's
True.
fine. That's fine.
All right. That's fine if Ambien gets if you're the only one that doesn't get the 1 experience.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Because I got extra experience last time because of O'Dane arc,
right.
sort of.
Well, everybody's
the
gonna get
special flashback stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well, everybody's gonna get 3 for RP. And as far as secrets go, there wasn't really any secrets. They kind of got outed. You guys kind of just all sort of overlooked diving too deep into figuring out the secrets in this one, I think. What's the other
Oh,
category?
no secrets. Fire did it. Fire is cool because she did that.
Vaira is totally because nobody actually knows since we didn't keep watch. Vaira's totally okay with taking the blame for it. Or credit. She considers it credit, but somebody might say blame.
Yeah, too bad I wasn't with any of you guys because then I would have seen everything.
Yeah.
But I'm
Um,
Soul would
technically like
know.
not unconscious.
what
Yeah.
about personal goals? Did anybody accomplish any personal character goals?
I kind of wanted
Vaira?
to turn the group to me being the leader, and that worked out more or
Kind of.
less.
Kind of, yeah. I'll give you 1 for that because it could have worked out better, a lot better.
Yeah, I turned the one over to me.
Vaira kind of did one of her goals of trying to get the bracer on Kshama from the very beginning of the B team.
That's true. That's true, and it did take a kind of crazy set of circumstances to do that. So I'll give you 3 for that. Putting a bracer on the warden is pretty deadly thing to do, I think. And it almost got you killed.
Yeah.
He almost killed a second party member. Yeah. What about Ambien and Soul? You guys feel like you got any personal goals today?
I mean, Soul's main goal really was to like improve on Kitty, but we really didn't get to do any of that.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that. So you guys travel to 5 rings. That's the time skip. We're just gonna skip basically to you guys getting to 5 rings in about 3-ish weeks. Then you'll have all your new gear. Kitty will have the armor. We'll just assume that you've had time since getting to 5 rings to set all that up. I was hoping we would just start the episode like that today.
Me too.
Like I was like, okay, everybody's gonna show up. We're gonna start at the bounty board, and then I'm like, ooh, Havoc comes back to life, and now we're in 5 rings. That was the plan. 5 minutes in, we'd be in 5 rings. All right. What about Ambien?
No, I wanted to get an armor, but Kshama didn't die.
Okay. All right.
No, get some pretty good armor.
Yeah, you did mention the turtle shell. All right, fair enough. Okay. Well, I think that covers everybody's XP. Everybody's got at least 3, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. And I need to get in the habit of handing that out during the session. So I told Wolf this, and he was like, "Oh, that sounds like it'd be annoying," but I need to get in the habit, and this is the only way I'm going to. So in the session, if you do something where you're like, I feel like this should meet one of the requirements for XP, and I don't go take XP right then and there, please be like, hey, just a reminder, should I get experience for this? And
I didn't even remember until the end. I was like, "Oh, we usually do goals at this time, but there's no." Oh yeah.
I'm
Wait,
really.
so what are the things again? It's
combat
goals, it's combat, and
RP
it's secrets.
Yeah, combat RP creativity / finding secrets is one goal, and then personal goals is the 4th one. Creativity. Was there anything creative? I mean, the most creative stuff I feel like was the goat body thing. The bracer was also kind of a creative thing. It's like getting it on Kshama.
That was fun. Trying to ripping it off of Havoc's arm and trying to go in and slap it on Kshama's arm.
That was
And this whole like monologue ready for when I knocked her out, where I was gonna be like, I'm the leader, I'm in charge, and then take the bracer off and clip it on her, because I knew I could take it off the entire time, and I was just waiting until I could hit the final blow to stick the bracer on her or smack her with a bracer or something.
I really wish I had remembered, because she wouldn't have done that if I had remembered. We could have gotten farther in story.
No, it was great. I really enjoyed that scene. That was really fun.
The other thing I was gonna do was I was gonna get up in the morning, walk downstairs, see if they'd set up to kill me or anything because they knew that I was bad. And if they hadn't, I was gonna go back up to my room, light the room on fire, come down, give the halfling lady a gold and say Krudia sends his regards, and then leave.
Did you guys expect them to all be dead? Like in the morning? Like them to
No.
all be butchered and stuff?
No, that was a cool touch.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have to do it.
And I like being able to take advantage of that for Vaira. She gained some respect from Kshama for doing nothing.
Yeah, it's almost like a way to
Except
bring you guys
flying.
together.
I like how we all assumed it was everyone else who did it.
Yeah. I came down and I was like, "Oh, Vaira must have done this," and she woke up and she's like, "Oh, Kshama did this."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
so-
she was smart enough to realize that it wasn't Kshama, so then she thought Soul did it.
Yeah.
And then Soul was like, Kshama must have done this.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I thought it was a fun
So-
thing.
Feel like it's
So,
all gonna come up
Sam-
about a session later, and everyone's gonna be like, "Wait, that wasn't you? No, I didn't do it. Did you do it? No. Who
No,
did it?"
Vaira's definitely gonna try and claim it, and she has a +7 deception, so
I have a feeling, Sam, if you're going to revive Havoc next week, that we're gonna devolve into another PvP.
Mhm.
oh god.
It might.
Hopefully, by then I'll have a weapon. My whole
Yeah.
build's
FYI.
built around green flame blade, and I couldn't use it because I didn't have weapons.
You don't even have a dagger?
I was a monk that was a total pacifist. I didn't have any weapons.
Wait, you know, you totally could offer to buy one of Vaira's daggers.
Or one of my
he's-
like
he's not relying on it that
39
much.
Chachwa.
Just take
or
it off your
whatever.
cold dead
He's not
body.
gonna rely on a group.
The Chakchas are ranged, aren't they? Or
I
can
can
they be
still
used
melee
for
with
They're
him.
melee?
thrown.
There's still a
melee.
weapon worth one
Oh yeah.
silver piece.
Then yeah, you could also try and get one of those from. You could probably steal one from Havoc's body. He's got some.
That's a good point. Actually,
Oh, no.
also, if Havoc wasn't up by the time that we were distributing money, he would have probably tried to take Havoc's share
Yeah.
because he killed him, so he earned it.
Yeah.
Would be his logic on that. And if no one contested that, he would just add it.
Well, that's what happens when you no call, no show to a session, right? The other players loot your corpse. Hopefully he's okay, y'all. Reach out to him if you can. Make sure he's okay. I'll do the same. Probably just another
Will do.
internet issue, like he had before, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, I hope you guys had fun today. I had a blast. It was a good session. It
Fun.
took some twists and turns, but you know, we all turned out best of friends in the end.
Did you award any points for creativity? I was half paying attention because Puppy.
I'm trying to come up with an excuse to give you guys a little bit more XP. I said the bracer, like putting the bracer thing on him, counted as creative.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Soul deserves a little something for that 21 investigation check. So so take 3 XP for that. Because you did get some information there.
Does that count as secrets?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think that kind of should count as secrets a little bit. Because you did get some info about the weirdness of the bodies. So yeah, whether you know what to do with that information yet might be a different thing.
Right.
But
Okay.
it could make sense later. I'll tell you that. It might be too late. But it could make sense. It could make sense of things later. All right. Well, I know you
How
guys
much-
still have no idea what this arc is going to be about, but I hope it's going to be fun.
How much
I'm
was it
excited,
for the
though.
creative?
Sorry?
How much was it for the creative? Since you said Vaira got that.
for the bracers.
Oh, I was giving
Yeah,
you.
for
I
the
was
bracer.
giving you the same I had given you for the bracer for putting the bracer on Kshama.
Okay, so 1.
Is that what I gave you for
Or
that?
wait.
I thought I gave you 3
Oh
for
no,
that.
wait.
No,
For
she
my
did.
roll, you gave me 3.
She gave you 3.
Yeah.
Or she gave you
Okay.
3. I'm
Um,
suddenly very rich.
Yeah. All right. And is there any? Did I miss anything else? I don't want anybody walking away with XP sitting on the table. Everybody else good?
I think Ambien was creative with trying to put the goat back to sleep.
Yeah.
Was
All right.
it creative
Because
though?
I
Fair.
didn't think of that, and I was gonna have
I-
Vaira do what she ended up doing anyways.
Yeah, I didn't think of that either. I kind of figured you guys would eat it, or I mean, I kind of thought you might kill it, and I thought that was probably a strong possibility.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Ambien, take some 3 XP for the sleeping the goat, for knocking the goat unconscious. All right. Well,
Do I get anything for following my
No.
arcana and just burning down a random building? Aww.
I'll get. I mean, it took some balls to kind of bully the NPCs that way, like walk into a bar and be like a known criminal with a bounty on your head and be like, I'm not paying for anything, give me a free room.
Right.
You know
That
what's
took-
funny is I was gonna have Vaira try and help him and use her intimidation, but then I decided she's not gonna bother when she noticed the looks between the tavern lady and the other dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing too. It's a whole thing that hopefully will make sense by the time we get to the end of this arc. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm excited for it.
But
Mhm.
I feel like Kshama's a little left out on the experience, so take 3 extra experience, Kshama. Anybody else
Okay.
feel missed out? Soul, feeling a little bit
I
missed?
think we're good.
All
What's
right.
Ambien
You don't
at?
have to give us this free experience.
All right. All right. Well,
What?
well, I had a blast. Next week we back on for Mondays. I think I'm good. I'm good for Mondays. I'm assuming you guys are good for Mondays.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you guys then. Have a great week.
All right.
And
Good night.
Yeah. Good night, folks. Night, chat.
Nice stream.
Right.
Oh, heads up, Rambling. The stream said Doom Eternal.
What? They want more Doom Eternal?
No, the stream said Doom Eternal, like
Oh
the
man!
title.
Oh, did it the whole time? I gotta fix it. Yeah, I left it on.
Oh yeah, I noticed. I was looking at your thing, and I think you have there's a video game, and it's titled Forest of Flesh, episode 17.
For a video game stream?
For one of the videos, but it looks like it's a video game
Oh,
from 8 days ago.
oh yeah. Well, the thing is, so here's what happens when you change the title of the stream. It acts weird, right? So
Mhm.
sometimes it changes it, and sometimes it just looks like it changes it, and it doesn't actually change it. But I did change it when I played Doom Eternal because that's the video game that's the only video game I streamed since the last time we played.
Mm.
And I changed it. That's why the title says Doom Eternal now. But apparently, even though I changed it and it's still changed and it affected this stream, even though I changed it and it's still
Yeah.
changed, somehow the VOD didn't change. Like even though it was after I changed the title and did the whole video game VOD, and then
I wonder what's causing Twitch to do that, because that's so weird.
it's always done it. Like I've talked to other
Mm.
streamers and they have the same problem. They just have their mods take care of the title stuff because you have to,
renaming it.
yeah, because you have to do it over and over and over again for it to work. But I'm changing it now. Did it take? I don't know. But I'll go back through. I'll go back
Yeah, it's
through
just
the.
Forest of Flesh now.
Yeah, I'll go back through the VODs and make sure because I have to highlight the VODs after every stream. And honestly, here's the thing. Honestly, the best place to watch the VODs, guys, is the YouTube. They're all titled correctly. They all have like like likes and comments on them and stuff. And a lot of them have proper intros and outros and stuff like that. So it's just a great place to watch it. Also, that's where usually the catch-up videos go up, which is the videos that I sometimes show at the beginning of the D&D sessions as like a previously on Forest of Flesh thing. They go up on the YouTube too. So it's just better to watch. This is definitely the best place for live streaming. But the YouTube's a better place to watch the VODs because it doesn't give me any mouth. You know what I mean? It works right.
Yep. You have a little more control.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry guys. I will try to be a professional and fix titles and stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
Yep. Night, Ramblin'.
Night, guys.
See ya.
Good night, everybody.
If you enjoy the video, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe.